Alabama, Texas. What did we learn from this game? Phenomenal battle put forward by Texas. If I had told you that Quinn Ewers was going to get knocked out of the game, that he was going to be replaced by the end of the first quarter, that Texas was only going to score 19 points, would you have thought that this game was going to be remotely close, or would all of you have joined me and taken Alabama to win something like 45-19, maybe even 52-19, if you had been aware of what was going to go on? Yet, Texas I thought, outplayed Alabama for the vast majority of the game until Alabama basically gave up on running the football, put Bryce Young in the shotgun, spread out the field, and let their receivers go to work without any major hindrance. They finally started to get a little bit of rhythm going. But even with that occurring, Alabama still, I think, would have lost this game if we had had the sack made on the perfectly timed blitz on Alabama's final drive. Instead, Bryce Young made a whale of a play, ducked underneath that Longhorn defender, scrambled for 20-some-odd yards, set up what was, in theory, a chip shot field goal. Now, if you're Texas, the question is, are they back? If they can put forward the same sort of effort going forward, then yes, I think you have to be very comfortable with where the program is in year 2 of Steve Sarkisian. My belief, and I've told you guys this for years, is that you can tell in college football whether you've got the right coach or not in year 2. Year 2 is when there is progress. Year 1, you might get a victory you don't anticipate. Year 2 is when the leap is made. I'll give you a stat. Every SEC football coach that has won a championship, won a conference championship, has had at least 9 wins by year 2. In other words, so far there's no example of a long build. Probably Bobby Petrino at Arkansas was the closest example to this. He never did win an SEC title, but it took him a couple of years to get Arkansas turned around. But if you look right now and say, okay, is Texas back? Answer's no. But are they on the right track? I think the answer is yes. For Alabama, this game felt a lot like Auburn last year, where the Tide offense just couldn't get rolling. And what was similar? Jamison Williams wasn't there. How much did Jamison Williams cover up? Are the Tide receivers dynamic enough to be big-time difference makers? Are the skill position players at Alabama explosive enough? Might have gotten spoiled with Jalen Waddle, with Devontae Smith, with Julio Jones, certainly back in the day, with all of the Jerry Jeudy, all of the incredible talent. We could go on and on with all of the top receiving talent that has come out of Alabama in the Saban era, particularly in the back end of that era. And so I think it's fair to ask the question, is Alabama still as dynamic at the skill positions as they have been most years under Nick Saban? Based on what I saw Saturday down in Austin, the answer is no. So I think Alabama is not going to be as much head and shoulders above everybody else in the SEC as we may have anticipated, and you'll see that when I give you my current top SEC football rankings based only on games that have been played. Now, so that was the game that I watched in person. Had an incredible time. Appreciate everybody who gave us a phenomenal reception down in Austin, Texas, both with the Clay and Buck Show and also with Big Noon Kickoff. Fun time. Friday night dinner before the game, I was out with the Big Noon Kickoff crew, and we were all hanging out having dinner at the Vince Young Steakhouse. And I turned to Matt Leinart. Reggie Bush is there, Rob Stone, Urban Meyer. But I turned to Matt Leinart and I said, just think, if you guys had actually had Reggie Bush in at the end of that USC-Texas game and gotten that first down, Vince Young Steakhouse might not exist at all. We might not be sitting here eating this meal right now. I don't know that Leinart thought it was as interesting or funny as I did, but good time. Brady Quinn was also there. We got a great group if you haven't watched Big Noon yet. Over 10 million people, it sounds like, watch the Alabama-Texas game, which is just a monster audience for Fox and also for Big Noon. So that's my take on the Alabama-Texas game.